Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking a little bit about cross-site scripting, and more specifically I'm going to be talking about the various places that cross-site scripting can occur and how to exploit it. And I'm going to be using a test suite of sample web application that I built in order to show you how certain cross-site scripting payloads work. And I'll also be walking you through the different steps that you need in order to follow along with what I'm doing in the video. So first things first, I've created a website, just a sample, really small web application that's purposely vulnerable to different cross-site scripting attacks. And I'm going to include the link to that in the description for this video, but you can go ahead and visit that link now if you'd like to follow along. That website is blaze, blaze.com/XSS test suite, and you should be taken to this page here. So this isn't a comprehensive list of every place that XSS occurs, but it is a good overview of a lot of the most commonly known places that XSS attacks can happen. So the first thing we're going to do is visit XSS in an HTML comment. And you can see on this page here that there's a box underneath where it says source code. And this shows you how the parameters that you're entering are affecting the actual source code of the page itself. So we're going to go up here to the URL, and we're going to enter the parameter A, and we're just going to type hello. And you can see here in our source code that the parameter A is echoed out inside of an HTML comment. And an HTML comment looks like this. Starts with the left angle bracket, exclamation point, dash dash, and then see here we have hello. And that is where the PHP code, in this case, echoed out our parameter A directly without any sort of filtering or escaping or anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change this to quote. And then I'm going to do a standard cross-site scripting attack test, which is a script and then the alert tag, or not the alert tag, the alert body, and then the closing script tag. And we're going to hit enter. So now you can see here, if you look at the code, that this entry that I just made, script alert 1 and the close script tag, is actually echoed out in the raw source code of the page itself. So you can see the same thing if you right-clicked on this and clicked View Page Source. You can see here, this is an HTML comment, doesn't escape user input, and there we have our script alert script. Now, if you notice, we didn't get an alert box, and that is because we are still inside of our HTML comment. So in order to get this alert box to execute, we need to escape the comment first. And we can do that by entering in the closing tags of the HTML comment, and that is dash dash right angle bracket. So now what happens is the comment is closed inside of the source, and the script tag that we've entered is actually echoed out as pure HTML on the page. So let's go ahead and hit enter, and we should see an alert box. Oh no. Oops. There's a little bug in Firefox that if you enter this stuff without URL encoding it and hit enter, it'll take you to a random page. So we're just going to click the go box here. And there we see our alert. And once this clears, you can see what happened as the raw source code. So if we view the page source, it's the same thing as the box. See, we see here we've closed our comment, and now the script is actually used as part of the page itself. So that's the dangers of not escaping your input and trusting the user data that is provided. So just to show you what happens when we do escape it properly, I'm going to go ahead and use htmlentities, which is the E parameter. So you can look here, so we see that our code has been escaped properly to look like this. So now when you view the page source, it'll just be that. You can see right here, it's changed our actual code that we've entered to proper HTML encoding. So let's go ahead and close this, and we're going to return to the home page here. And next thing we're going to do is look at cross-site scripting in an attribute. So if we view the page, actually let's just try a equals XSS here so that we can easily find it. Then we'll view the page source, and see we have here div ID equals a, attribute equals XSS, here XSS. So you can see that our page is actually using the XSS that we've entered, or the text that we've entered, as the attribute of a div tag. Now this isn't proper HTML, there's no attribute of a div called attribute, but it shows you what would happen if there were an attribute such as height or width or something like that. So the next thing that we want to do is we're going to open up, or we're going to return to the URL bar here, and instead of this we're going to try our standard script alert to see if we can get a pop-up box. And once again our pop-up box doesn't happen. So if we view the page source we can see why. We're still stuck inside of an attribute. So in order to get this to execute, we need to change something. We need to first escape out of our attribute. And we can close that attribute by including a quote, and now the close bracket. So now what we've done is, I'll show you the page source. We'll see in our alert box there. And when we view the page source here, what we've done is closed our div tag, and we've treated the script as an actual script rather than an attribute. So once again, if we use the I think it was parameter D. So if we use parameter D, we'll see what happens when it's properly escaped. So you don't see an alert box, view the page source, and you can see down here parameter D. Oops, I entered the wrong parameter. We're talking about parameter E. That's why it wasn't showing up. Okay, so now we should be able to see this in the page source. Yep. All right, so we see our attribute, we see the ampersand quote, and this is proper encoding of the HTML elements as they're echoed out on the page. So now let's return to our home page so we can look at some other locations. All right, XSS in data. Now in this case, this is the simplest of XSS attacks, because if we view our source, we see that the code that we've entered in the URL bar is actually shown as plain text, just plain data right on the page. So any standard XSS attack should work. And we'll go ahead and submit this, and we should see our alert box. And we can see why if we view our source. We'll see here parameter A, plain text, and then we just have this script tags. Let's go back and view XSS in a script. So another location that happens a lot of times is we'll have a parameter such as A, and just do XSS for now so we can see how this happens. So you can see here that there's a script inside of our page, and it's assigning the variable temp value equal to whatever text the user entered. So in this case, if the text the user entered is not properly escaped, then we can actually close the JavaScript line and start a new line. And we can do that with a semicolon. So if we enter a semicolon right here, and then we do an alert box, let's see what happens to the page source now. Okay, so what's happened now is this part here, which is obviously not valid JavaScript. So in order to get this to properly line up, what we need to do is change some things here. So let's put some quotes in there so it assigns a variable. Let's see what happens then. So now we get our one box, and if you look down here in the code, you can see that we've now assigned the temp value to equals equals, and now on a new line essentially in JavaScript, because we've closed this line with a semicolon, we have an alert box with a 1. So you can see how various locations of wherever the parameter the user enters is echoed out on the page can really affect the actual payload of what happens. So that's everything. Hopefully you learned something from this. It's a sort of in-depth look at the different locations of XSS. And like I said before, this is not a comprehensive list. There's many times when a script tag or something like that might be filtered out and you need to change your payload. But this shows you that just because XSS doesn't happen with a standard script alert 1, it may still exist. You just need to edit your code a little bit to line up and essentially break out of whatever attribute or tag you're currently in. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions about this, leave a comment and I'll be sure to help you out.